What? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us on another Knights of Teleria. Today we have two special guests with us. Actually, they're not so special because they've been here multiple times, but um, we've got NachoPlays 50. Nacho, how are you doing?
I am alive today. We are
You,
living in the world. A little rainy out today.
yeah, I just had some rain. Actually, I was in the midst of recording a video just before this, and all of a sudden it just started downpouring. I looked outside, and then it's just stopped. So, yeah. And we have Gestal Gaming. Gestal, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's sunny and beautiful out here in California.
Oh, I don't know if I really want that kind of heat though. What's the weather like there right now? How hot?
It's beautiful now, man. It's 78 degrees and sunny. Not a cloud in the sky. It's
Nice.
about to get hot though. This is when it starts getting hot in August, early September. It gets hot out here.
Oof. I remember I used to be there for BlizzCon every year back in November, or back a few years in November, and yeah, I mean November where I live in New Hampshire, it's kind of chilly. It's getting to that nice fall weather, but I went out there. I was like, oh yeah, I'll bring long pants. Oh my god, was that a mistake? I think I went to a Ross store and I bought like shorts because I was like it's too hot. Oh. Um, all right, so we're gonna start off with the question of the week, and it's going to be, what do you use or what do you have as your favorite topping on a peanut butter sandwich? Is it jelly? Is it bananas? Is it fluff? What do you like? I'm gonna throw this to Gestel first.
I grew up on peanut butter and jelly, man. So easy answer for me. I don't think I've ever tried bananas, though. Obviously, I think that's a thing from Elvis, maybe. And fluff. I've I've heard of that maybe when I was younger, but I've not even thought of that in forever. I'll tell you what is good: peanut butter and honey. You ever had that?
Mm,
Try it out.
okay, okay. I've not yet, but I might. Now, a follow-up question to yours is gonna be, what flavor jelly?
Grape.
Great. Okay. Okay. Nacho, what about you?
Yeah, I'm just a normal PB&J guy. Marshmallow fluff is way too sweet. I don't need dessert This is like the more and more in the time we go, the more and more everything just turns into dessert. Like every single thing is just like a giant sugar pile and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I'm just a normal PB&J guy. PB and bananas ain't bad though, to be honest. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, just PB&J if I'm gonna pick one, mainly because bananas aren't quite as common in my house. I don't know. I just don't pick them up that much. Just buy
Um,
apples or like berries or something. Just bananas is just never gonna be the one.
okay. Okay. Myself, I'm definitely a fan of the peanut butter and bananas. Back when I used to be, a little bit of a gym freak. Yes, long, long time ago. It was a great source of protein. It was great to just hold you over. And when I was fasting for Lent, it was one of the biggest things that I would eat every day. Plus, it's one of those things you don't really need a cooler for. So if you're bringing it to work, it works out well. You know. So let's get into this week's topic. We have a lot of shenanigans going on, right? We've got the Hydra Clash. We have some Dungeon Diver points and Champion Chase points that are kind of insane. We got a free skin, basically. Um, and you know what? We're going to start off with that one first. I want to start off with the free skin. First of all, let me find out from you. Do you like the skin? Did you think it was worth it for you to go for it? And I'm gonna throw this to Gestel first.
Skins are right. Definitely not their best, but uh, Stag Knight's kind of dull without it, I guess. So it brings a little something extra to them. I feel like it's somewhat of an ode to Stultus. Is that what it's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be? Kind of with like the Draco feathers and stuff on the cape. So I don't know. Does he look up to Stultus? Is that his dad or something? I don't know. It's a little weird.
I wonder if there's
But
any
I think it
lore.
brings a little color to him. I think it looks cool, but I wouldn't say he's got no lore yet. I wouldn't say it's the. I wouldn't say it's the best. I'll be honest. Like coming from, I talk about Smite all the time. I still play it. There's the skins they do in that game are incredible. Like they've done collabs with like Ninja Turtles, GI Joe, Transformers, just like normal skins that they just make for fun. Like they are top tier, man. The skins I feel like mostly are just recolors. Here, I feel like they could really step up the game on the skins, in my opinion. But maybe I'm asking too much of a mobile game. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they do a great job on their visuals. I definitely think that they could do better.
Yeah, no, they do, but I think the skin game, like, they're basically recolors and or they add effects or something. Like I don't know, like do something like completely new or completely different to like really make the character look awesome. But I don't know. I think like Smite has more fun with it. Like they'll look completely different. Whereas here, you can't. I don't know. If you were to change them too much, maybe you wouldn't even know who you're going against. So maybe they kind of got to stay within some bounds.
Yeah, yeah. Nacho, what about you? What do you think?
Just to like kind of touch on what Guest was saying about the skins. There's two drastically different perspectives of the skins in Smite versus the ones in Raid. The ones in Raid are not immersion breaking. Okay, they only fit the world and the theme of the world. Okay,
Yeah.
Smite is not restricted to that. If they want to throw a pool party skin in there, they can. If they want to throw in anything, if they want to have a guy running down the field with a hot dog, they can. You know what I mean? So it's drastically different in amount of variety that you can have in the skins. Not to say that they couldn't change animations. That's just like totally besides the point. But in general, the types of skins that we can even get are more limited, right? And I'm fine with that, right? Like, in general, like you want to have a game stay on theme. That's great. So I think this skin absolutely does that. The only thing I don't like is his helmet. The helmet kills it straight up. That's one of the most signature parts of Stag Knight's original like armor set is his helmet.
Yeah.
He is the Stag Knight. He has horns on his helmet that make him like a Stag Knight.
Yeah.
He's literally a parrot knight, and he's got these weird ass discs on his head now. Little circle things kill it. Like his
Well, they
helmet
could
is
have kept the
trash.
stag. They could have kept
Like,
the
like
antlers.
the rest of him looks sick. Change his helmet, he also would
Yeah.
look sick. The
I'm
helmet
with you.
literally kills it. The rest of it looks amazing. The shield, great. The cape, sweet. His cape before looks like trash. To be honest, like it's literally just like a normal ass blue cape. Like it's nothing special whatsoever, and that's the main thing you see is his cape because you're looking behind him. So I think they did great job on that. But his helmet looks terrible. So I loved it otherwise. Most everything about it, like how we got it and everything. So
Welcome to the stream, Joe. Thank you for joining us. So I mean, it's a great. I like it. I get the feeling. I agree with Nacho here, with the little I don't know discs, whatever the hell it is. Maybe it's like his earmuffs. Who knows? But yeah, no, the skin was definitely cool. And then the event itself. The first one, if you didn't have the time to do it, or you were still trying to farm, what was it, Fire Night that was going on. The event itself for Spider, I think, actually was the best one to do for this. No, like at least points wise, because it was all based off of what was it, turns, right?
Turn attack. Yeah, it's 1500.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think for me it was like 400 points on hard mode, but I really think, at least for myself, I think that this was a great job, great call, great way to give out the skin without it actually being free, and having us do some work for it. I think that's the way they should try to approach this, not charging us no $50 for an Arbiter skin. But what do you think, Nacho?
Oh, I loved the format. Not only did they give us to it, like it was a turn attack team, so if your account was progressed, you got it for like 400 energy, like you're saying, and they gave you 250 back. Like the first, like what was it, top 20 places got energy or something like that also. And so granted, a lot of people were doing it, but you were fairly likely to get energy back to even cover what you put into it for the most part. So I loved it. It rewarded the people that were at that point in their accounts and that could participate at a good rate. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, they incentivized these kind of end game things a lot more. Keeping low turns on your spider team, for instance. That's like, hey, we don't want to farm food, make a fast team, kind of thing. So definitely like it, and it's falling in line with what they're trying to do with the game, with what they've said in the last interview. So I'm perfectly happy with it.
Yeah, no, even if you were, farming stage 20 with like, I want to say it was like 25 or 30 turns, it was still like 800 energy. So you could definitely accomplish it with like a 1 day energy type thing. But Gestal, what about you? What were your thoughts of the event?
I love the event. Short and sweet, was 2 days. I don't even know if they announced it. At least I hadn't heard anything about it. And it like at 2 o'clock my time, new event pops up for Spider, and it's got a skin attached to it. I was like, here we go. So definitely liked it. Quick and easy, 2-day tournament. Point total wasn't bad, and rewards were good all around. And you got a cool skin, man. I think they should do. I if they're gonna do skins, I think this is a great way for them to put it out. Only having a skin go to like the winner of the tournament, you're not gonna get the skin out there much. And obviously, for purchase, I don't really like that aspect. I like this for him, like make us earn it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be as easy as that, but make us earn it, and make it somewhat exclusive to like the time frame it came out. Like this, I think they're doing in 3 separate events. I like, that type of stuff is cool. I like that, and it rewards the player for being around at that time, and it's something you can show off in like a year or two and be like, oh, you got that skin for Stag, that's awesome. Whatever. I like that type of stuff. So, yeah, I hope they do more. And I'm sure this will be available. I'm not saying this is exclusive, but I'm saying if they did that type of thing, I'd be down for it.
Yeah. No, it was I like I said, I want to encourage them. I feel like Raid is our teenager, and sometimes they misbehave, and you gotta put them in their place and call them out on their bull. But then when they do something good, you gotta support that. You gotta say great job, and Raid, great job on this one. You killed it. You did great. I don't think there's anybody in the community that is going to be upset. Welcome to the stream, Being Useless. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, overall, I mean, I would love to see it more like this. I would love to see it, even if the point requirements were a little bit higher. And it was actually pretty good because it did land with the over excessive points for that Dungeon Divers, which is going to bring us into the next subject, which is this fusion. Man, doing it on 3 accounts myself has been hell, but the point requirements, people are like livid. I'm getting messages every morning about, can you believe this? Like literally the moment the Dungeon Divers event came out, I had like 16 Discord messages from viewers that were like, dude, this is ridiculous. There's so much. Like, what the hell? And then the champion chase was another one, and it was like, wow. Mr. YST in the house. Welcome, sir. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. But yeah, you know what? Let me throw this out to Nacho first, because he seems to think that this event was not was bad, but not excessive, right? What were your thoughts about the Dungeon Divers points?
Y'all are smoking crack. The first Dungeon Divers and the third Dungeon Divers were perfectly in line with every single Dungeon Divers we've had over the last year. The second Dungeon Divers was the little whirly do there, which definitely was 1,000 extra points. However, we got Clan Shop energy. We also got like 3 other tournaments that ended that day. We had the Soulstone tournament that you had to pull 15 points for 200 energy. Okay. Then you had tag team end, classic ended. There was the summon rush in the middle of the week, right? So I ended up getting 2,000 free energy I completed 4,800 points of that dungeon divers without spending a single. The first dungeon divers, I spent 400 gems.
Okay.
So, and then the third dungeon divers is the same as the first dungeon divers, 3,700. So if you have to spend 400 gems again, you're still under 1,000 gems for fusion, like easily.
Okay. What about you, Gestal? What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, the second one's the one that stands out to me. That definitely was high, as Nacho already said. But as he also did say, they did give us 1,000 in the clan shop. I love the clan shop, man. I think it's something people ought to sleep on. There's always at least one good thing in there a week. And then they had the void this week, and then the 1,000 energy. So 2 good things this week. So don't sleep on your clan shop, but. That helped. Them throwing in the spider tournament to kind of on that day where there wasn't any tournaments going on for the fusion, that helped tremendously. So at least they kind of gave back. I feel like it was almost like, yeah, we know this is a lot, but we gave you an extra day, and here's some energy in the clan shop, and here's an event where you can get a fair amount of energy. So, I could see why people are upset because the number just looks so big. You see that 4,800, like, oh, that's in Dungeon Divers. Oh my gosh. But, you gotta run dungeons in this game. You're always looking for better gear, and this is a good excuse to do it. You get a great champ for it. I don't ever look at it as a bad thing. Unless you don't get it. That's when it's bad. If you miss out, you fell asleep early, or like there was an update while you had an auto run going or something, like then I feel bad for you. But if you're playing the game and you're paying attention, it's really not that big a deal.
It was also a 4-day dungeon diver, not a
Yeah,
3-day,
it's 4
like
days.
the other two. So we knew
Yeah.
the requirement was going to be higher than the first one being a 4-day versus a 3-day.
hmm
So
Yeah.
4 days, that's 3,500 energy, just your daily. That's before the clan shop. That's before any of your tournaments, anything like that. We had almost 6,000 energy available to us, all said and done, in those 4 days to complete that dungeon divers. So
Well, I mean, Joe brings up a great point, right? Yes, the points were a little heavy skewed, but do the points justify the reward? Did it really need to be up that high, even though it was an extra day? Um, you know, and everything else in between, he's right, was not that great. I don't have the event opened up because it's ended, but the rewards that you got were pretty crap from the start all the way into getting the 25 fragments. What do you agree or disagree? We'll start with Gessel first.
I don't remember the rewards, but frankly, those rewards to me, are almost just gifts. Like the real reward here is Emic, and avoid HP base legendary for a new faction, unkillable, shield. Does what's he cooldown? He does reduces cooldown and increases cooldowns. Like this guy's the reward, and I think that's what you really got to be looking at. The other rewards, when they're good, that I find that as a bonus. I don't necessarily really feel like that the rewards are, I'm going for those fragments. Like that's where my focus is. And if there's some energy along the way, I see a soul stone there. I'm happy with that too. But the rest of that is junk. Like who cares about the rest of that?
Well, but that's the thing though, is the point requirement is so high. Yes, we're gonna get the 25 fragments, but shouldn't we be getting a little bit extra while we're going there? Like at least, they're giving us the 5 force, which is what you're gonna need to, ascend the champions, the arcane, but give us something else a little bit more. If we're gonna have to spend so much in here, I think, Joe's right. Like let's
they
get a
do.
little bit more.
They
Okay,
do.
go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me.
Oh
Tell
my
me.
gosh. So Dungeon Divers is the double dip event. You're not gonna get big rewards out of Dungeon Divers because you got gear out of your dungeons, you got the fragments for the fusion, right? You also got other rewards from your specific dungeon tournaments. Look at the Spider Tournament. The Spider Tournament is a great example of a improvement in rewards. The only difference could be that there could be an epic book on the top instead of not. Okay, you have 25 gems. That's great. Half a soul stone, an ancient shard, and then the fusion for free. Like, this is a free event. You're not gonna have to come out of pocket for Spider whatsoever. Okay, so you have 2 or 3 of these events in every single Dungeon Divers, plus the fusion that you're getting. Like Gestal was saying, there's your reward. They don't need to pad this out any further. They've already improved this massively. Actually, they put a soul stone also in the Dungeon Divers. Like, you're just like quick to drop that every single time too. Like, these are improvements that we've had. These bronze chests, turns out, still an improvement. They put rank, rarity charms, gems, and a shard on the first spot. Like, granted, it's a 50-50 to hit one of those or the other things. That's still an improvement over 5 arcane or 5 greater potions. Okay, like they've improved all kinds of things all over the place, as well as making it a fusion event. So I don't think they're gonna make them that much better. They're not gonna put a Lego book in every single Dungeon Diver event. They're not gonna put a Void Shard in every single event. So instead of saying I want more, what do you want? What do you want in it? You know what I mean? You just say I want more, specifically say what you want.
Okay, real simple. I mean, looking at the artifact event and looking at the Dungeon Divers, the rewards for the artifact event are 10 times better.
Because it's not a double dip event. It's the main event. The Dungeon Divers are the secondary event to your dungeon events.
But the point requirements for that are so much higher. They're literally...
It's because it covers multiple events. You can only farm Spider to get Spider points. Dungeon Divers can be covered by doing various things in the game. You can kill any dungeon. You can do champion training, right? Like, you have options in it, okay? And they also cover multiple of the required events. Like, every single one had a dungeon plus champion training or 2 dungeons in it, okay? That's how they're always done. And then maybe you got to come out 5 refills at the end. Like, that's how these are always done.
I mean, so, look, we get 1,200 energy a day. I believe
no, you don't. You get 900 energy a day.
Does that include, if you're fully maximizing everything, it's 1,200 energy between how much you get for arenas, doing your arenas, doing everything in game.
All of your dailies only give you 900. On the 12 days that you get Hard Doom Tower, you get an extra 100 energy, which is cool. We got that through the first little bit of the fusion, if anything. But you don't get it through the next half, so you can't count that anymore. You don't get 3v3 energy. You know what I mean? Like, all these things you don't get every single day. Like,
no, you don't, but what I mean is, if you're trying to play as efficiently as possible, right?
If you log on 4 times a day. 4 times a day, and you do all of your dailies, you get 900 energy a day. You have to spend energy to do dailies. You know that,
correct? Correct. But if you're spending everything you get and you're never capping out on energy, it comes up to 1,200.
It doesn't. I've done this math several times, like with 5 other people in the room. Go ahead, talk about it. What do you get? You get 400. You get 4 refills. That's 520. Where's the other 700 coming from? From dailies? You don't get 700 dailies. From that dailies guy.
No. But you get
that's what you just said. You just said 1,200. Well, you get 520 from your 24 hours of login. There's your regen energy. So where's the other 700 come from?
It was, you get it. Why did I think it was 1,200?
It's
the last time I did it, I counted 1,200. I'm gonna have to look back at my notes. I'm gonna have to look back at my notes and figure out where the hell I did the wrong math. But it was including what you get for, no, wouldn't have been the gems because the gems don't app. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Because it was 1,200.
And if you want to include everything like Doom Tower and things like that, then I'm going to insert your own arguments of what about the people that aren't completing Hard Doom Tower and then want to do all these fusions? Now they don't have that resource. That's your own
Well,
argument that you use all the time.
I'm always a proponent for what you currently have. Not hard Doom Tower, not everything else, not progressing, but what you're currently getting.
Right. So what you currently get is 900 energy a day.
Okay. So even let's go. I'm gonna make this will make my case even better. Even at the 900 energy a day over the 4 days, that's what 1836. You needed almost 6,000 energy to complete that event running a stage 20 dungeon.
Right, which they gave us other energy in the game to complete it.
But it's not like if you weren't storing energy, you were able to complete it. Like you had to store that energy. You couldn't be using it on anything else.
So you're saying that they shouldn't expect you to have anything stored, that you should be able to complete every single fusion just going seat of your pants, 60 gems.
According to them, the player base hoards too many resources, and that's why they don't want to give out anymore.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's not what you're saying. You are saying that you shouldn't have to come out of any of your gems or your extra resources except for what the day gives you for the dungeon.
Honestly, yeah, I really feel that.
So I
feel like the fusion, but I feel like the fusion should be done in a matter where if I'm actively playing the game, it shouldn't be asking me for more. If the resources are already intense enough for us to get on some of these.
Doing dailies is not actively playing the game, my guy. Doing your dailies and building up resources is not spending anything. It's not using anything. That's saying I did my dailies today and spent my energy down and I get a free fusion out of it. That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all.
I mean, listen, the way I feel is this should just be done in a matter of a way where we should not really have to it's really based on us having to.
You 2,500 gems a month free to play. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying spending 1,000 of those a month on the fusion that you want, and everybody wants to say they skip every other fucking fusion. So you're saying spending 1,000 gems every other month, every single month of your 2,500 is too much? And
yeah, because I gotta master champions, I gotta, do everything else in game. That's going to take a lot of time. That's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of gems.
Yeah, you have to do one thing at a time.
They throw CVC at us.
When the game first came out, you couldn't play the game for more than an hour, and everybody complained that there was nothing to do. Now there's too much to do.
Yeah.
Where's the middle ground? Like you guys just say these things. They add content for us to do, and then you complain. You don't have to do every single thing every single day. If you're running masteries this week, go ahead, run masteries. You know how many days it takes to run masteries? 2 to 3.
2 days of full energy, yeah.
Yeah, 2. If you need War Master, it only takes you 2. How many champions can you build a month? How many do you get books for? Because you can only build 2 Legos a month. And that's if you get enough books for all of them. Well, epics, how many epics do you build? None. So you're not running that many masteries. You're telling me.
That's debatable on how many you build that need books and don't need books. I mean,
well, then if they very few Legos you're building these days don't need books and don't need masteries. You're capping. You're completely capping. Name the last Lego that you put into a Hydra team or an Arena team that you will use to the end of time unbooked. Tell me.
I would use Uko.
You're not going to use Uko unbooked to the end of time. That's cap.
That's not. I put her in a sunset. That's literally all I really care about. Is just the sunset for Arena. And in Hydra, I'll put her in a provoke set.
Right, so he's not going to A2 strip everybody in Arena, and then he's not going to strip the buffs that matter whatsoever. Oh, block buffs so you can stun them? That's cap. You're literally capping.
If it lands, it lands. But it's not a champion that needs to be booked.
Yes, they do. Well, if you want them to do any bit of their job, they have to be booked. He doesn't even get the decrease attack on his A1 unless he's fully booked. His decrease attack chance is dog shit.
Again, it's one of those things where you can use him or not use him. I don't feel like he's one of those. I mean, it's the same thing as saying that Where is it? That I should invest books in. Oh, she's not here. In Astrolith. There's
No, it doesn't
0
whatsoever.
point.
No, that's completely different. That's entirely different. She has a
How?
100% chance to place her bomb, and you're winning one turn or losing one. There's no turn. There's no point in rotating back. The bomb damage also doesn't scale when you book her. Booking Astrolith is not anywhere near comparable to Akko.
But I mean, there's
I
plenty
feel
of
like
champions.
Akko is useful
Go
in
ahead.
other areas as well. Like I use Uko in on my free to play in Hydra, man. I use them for the revive. I also use them for the block debuff. So I haven't booked for that. But I mean, just live arena, just a stun set, and you don't really care about the revive. I mean, I guess you could live with it, but he's certainly someone I'd like to book.
Again, the point being, you can only build 1.5 to 2 Legos per month. And how many epics have you built this month that you actually use?
Quite a
That
few.
need that absolutely have to have masteries. Absolutely have to have masteries, because not a single faction war champion has to have masteries.
Well, your damage dealers do.
No,
damage-
they don't. Not whatsoever. You do not need masteries to finish faction wars. Not even close. You don't even need books.
No, the books you don't. But masteries, I mean, you really
No,
need them.
that's-
Depending on the
that's
champion,
far from-
you really need
You're telling me you need masteries on fucking Miss Rider Dithey, but you don't need books in Ukko?
No,
That's
I said
bullshit.
depending on
That's
the champion.
bullshit.
I haven't.
That's bullshit. Completely. There is 0 chance you are not booking Ukko, but you're putting masteries on your Sylvan Watcher faction wars that you just built. 0 fucking chance. That is wasting resources, and now you're complaining that you can't waste resources and get a free fusion. That's bullshit.
No, I'm complaining that the points are becoming too excessive, and that the reward doesn't. We don't get the same reward that we would through the other events.
Lego. You literally get a void Lego.
I'm not gonna lie. I've done some testing with him so far, and I'm not too far impressed. Like, I spent hours yesterday trying to speed tune him to like a clan boss team, trying to use that A2, and it just doesn't work. But anyways, that's a whole different thing.
I hope that's not the case. I'm really banging on him on the free to play, man.
Like, he absolutely works in clan boss the way you want. You just have to tune him properly.
You can't use him. I tried. I spent all day yesterday looking at every single comp, trying to figure out almost any different speed. Like, I literally spent 12 hours trying to find a speed tune for him that's going to work with another block damage or another unkillable champion to be able to abuse the A2. And because this game is so heavy in RNG, unless you get lucky and you're like, Demitha has a 4-turn cooldown, you ain't getting it.
That's bullshit. You can use Warcaster, who has a 4-turn cooldown, and make him a 3-turn cooldown and block your stun, and then use a block debuff or a Doom Priest. Like, you're full of shit again. You make Emic your slowest champion on your 1-to-1 ratio. You make him 171 speed.
Can't do
He puts
that.
unkillable up. Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
literally
You need to
can.
have him at a 4-3 because his A3 is a 4-turn cooldown.
Okay, you can 4-3 before the first turn. You know that, right? You can literally make him 4-3.
You just said get him at a 1-turn, 1-to-1.
Okay. If you need to 4-3 him, you 4-3 before AoE 1, and then he does the same thing. He goes first, and then he goes last, and then you're unkillable for AoE 1, AoE 2, Warcaster covers your AoE 3.
Right.
And then Emic has to not take the stun.
Right.
Wow. Or you use a block debuffs, and he's covered. If you want to use Doom Priest, he can't take the stun. That's how that team's built. I've already done it, dude. I already have it.
I did a guide on it already, and I can tell you, like, it was. I didn't have him fully booked. I luckily.
This dude just said I'd use an unkillable champion, not fully booked in Clan Boss, and then complained that he didn't.
Let me finish. I got his A3 book. I threw 2 books at him. They both went to the A3. I did not want to book the A2 because I wasn't sure how it was going to work, right? So I luckily managed to get that done, and it worked on a speed comp when you have Demitha at a 4-turn or any other champion at a 4-turn. But if you're going to fully book them, trying to get it down to a 3-turn or whatever it might be, it's not going to help. And the majority of the player base has already got their Demythas banking to try to get this guy, on a 1-to-1 for at least a 2-key comp. And they're not going to be able to do that without shutting off his A2. The A2 kind of screws up everything. So
You don't need his A2. You're unkillable.
you need the A2 though if you want to try to pump out more damage with like your Newt or something. Get that cooldown down from a 4-turn down to a 3-turn. That's going to cause a lot more damage for you. So, welcome to the stream, Kimbo.
The whole point is like if you can't figure out how to work with a 3-turn cooldown instead of a 4-turn, just shut it off and run 2 4-turns. Like it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, it would be cool and it would be great to have them in there. Again, trying to maximize the damage. I mean, everybody's thing right now is trying to get to that 1 key, which actually we'll touch up on afterwards. But yeah, so far my thing with Emic, I mean, he's great. He brings the 2-turn unkillable, but I'm not too impressed with trying to use him in Clan Boss for much more than that. And the damage on him is not that great either. But let's see here. I don't think the points will be, the point increase will be permanent. A champ that unlocks Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss is highly valued by Plarium. That's true. That's true. It could be just because he is going to change your account, but so is Newt, right? Newt was an account changing champion too. Newt allows you.
They value Void Legos at 3 to 4 times that of an Affinity Lego.
That's true. Yeah.
New Fusion was fairly tough too.
Yeah, this wasn't 300 times as hard as the New Fusion. This was actually like right on
About
par.
the same. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Plus, they gave us that extra summon rush, which honestly made it easier on my main account. Like I'm not sweating this at all. I'm not even doing this champ training, man.
Yep. Newt, they didn't give us anything extra.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna hold off on the midweek summon rush, and it kind of looked like I was banking. I know we talked about it last stream, but I was banking it on being a guaranteed Lego for Ancients, which was kind of right. They did a guaranteed Stagnite one, but they did the 1+1, so I ended up pulling because I was close to Mercy. So I didn't have to do a couple of the events, but yeah, it was I don't know how I feel about that one either, but let's move on into the next part, and I want to talk about the Hydra Clash, right? It's out now. Are your clans involved in the Hydra Clash? Nacho?
Oh yeah. Top 3,000 made it in any active clan that's hitting like hard Hydra. Should be in this.
Now we know that there's quite a bit of things going on with Hydra, and we'll touch up on that right now. But Gestal, what about you? Was your clan in the Hydra Clash?
Yeah, we're in it. I haven't hit it yet. I kind of feel like I want to swap some of my teams around, try to get a little bit more damage on each of them, but I've just been holding off a little bit to kind of seeing how it's flushing out. They got this is probably what you're about to bring up, but they got this crazy thing going on with Corporal Cadaver. Yeah, there you go. I'm wondering if I should just build one of those, but if they're gonna change it, like I don't want to waste the time building a comp like that. But if they're not gonna change it, you're gonna have to have one, right? I don't know.
Yeah. So let's get into this, right? 8 billion damage on Hydra. A year ago, it's been a little bit over a year that Hydra's been released.
It's been 2 years. 2 years, but okay.
Has it been that long? It got released not Christmas of last year.
This is this is the 4th time we've gone through the rotation.
It has been that long. Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like it. It feels like it's been maybe a year and a half max. But I remember when Hydra first came out, we were all worried and complaining, not even being able to clear normal. without having particular champions. Like I remember we had to they nerfed deterrence because of how well it was working against the Hydra.
This is the 22nd month of Hydra.
Okay. 22nd month of Hydra. So we're about a year and a half. Right?
2 months
Almost
from 2 years.
Yeah.
Closer to 2
22
years.
months.
Yeah.
22 months divided by 12 is 1.5.
Yes.
So it's like
No,
a
it's
year and a half.
not. No, it's
No.
not. No, it's not.
12 months in a year. Well, okay.
You're smoking crack. 18 months is a year and a half. 24 months is 2 years.
Okay. So I was right when I estimated about a year and a half. You said 3 years.
I
Or
said
something.
2. I said 2 years.
Okay. 1.5, 2 years. We're a couple of months off. Bite me. But yeah, let's talk about this team, man. I mean, we all know Corpulent Cadaver is a awesome clan boss champion. You use him in that Infinity Comp team, but how do you feel about, you know, putting your blood and sweat and creating a team to hit that 100 million damage, and then you come up and you see this at 8 billion damage? We'll throw this to Gestal first.
Yeah, it's absurd. This rare with an A1 that one shots Hydra heads is absurd. You know, this is the beta week, as Nacho said before we get on stream. So, like, it's not that big a deal. But if they're not gonna do something to change it, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Like, you might as well build 3 corporate cadavers and try and come up with like a scheme to do this on all 3 of the levels, you know, and you're gonna have the most points. So I can't imagine that's something they're gonna keep in the game. It's stupid. It's hilarious to watch. I watched Scratch's video, someone's video where he was doing, or Nupkek's video, and I mean, it's just one shot in Hydra heads. It's hilarious, but it's absurd.
Yeah. Nacho, what about you?
So, there's a couple things to unpack with this one. Okay. First off, in world record sense, breakpoints are always met, and they're usually huge. Okay. Usually, you're gonna hit, like, take a brand new game that your speed comes out today, right? Somebody might complete it in 2 hours. And 6 months, somebody's gonna complete it in 50 minutes. You know what I mean? That amount of time, you know, that it took. But they're gonna make big improvements along the way that are gonna make up giant time saves. Now, once you start getting closer to that 1 minute mark, theoretically, or the 0 second mark, 1 second mark, whatever you want to call it, for the actual like fastest run you could ever do, the harder it is to make those time saves, right? And so the way that the time saves actually end up coming, they're massive. You'll go from, like, you start, so the speedrun usually start at 2 hours, right? Somebody will shave 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. They'll just like figure out one better route for like this map or that map or that map, and then they'll do it faster. Well, once you get to the quicker marks, you find a glitch that slingshots you across half the fucking game, right? And so you've got 30 minutes shaved off. Boom. You've had a giant progression spike. So this is what happens with world records once you get to a certain point. Okay, Clan Boss has been around for a long time. Original Clan Boss. We had this happen many times in that. Okay. The original, like, Lydia Brogni, Brago team, right? That did the Victor Tez team or whatever, that did several 100 million. That was like crazy. Insane. The longest time it was around. And then the Corpulent team came around for that. Blew it out the water. Like, not even close. Not even remotely the same ballpark. Okay? So we, again, had that steadily moving up, and then we had one team that just, like, happened to, from everything we learned. And then we found one team that broke the game. Boom. Now we have the giant jump. Same thing's happened with Hydra. Okay? The difference now is you can have broken things in PvE. PvE is fine. Break all you want. You want to hit billions on Clan Boss, it doesn't It doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? You want to hit billions on Hydra? It didn't do anything before. Now that we have Hydra Clash, though, it's literally PvP in Hydra. So the balance that this brings is just, it's not good. You've completely incentivized the content completely. You know what I mean? You've introduced the Plat Arena into PvE, basically. You know, you have people that are just way farther ahead that are gonna blow people out the water, and it's not even gonna be close. There's no point in even trying or investing into these different things because you're just so far apart, right? Meanwhile, with like CVC and stuff like that, at least you can get people closer to your ranking and whatnot, and you at least get a more fair matchup. We don't exactly know how the matchmaking is going to work, and now they just took like one clan 1 through 5, 6 through 10. You know what I mean? And that was your first grouping. So we got the group I'm in is pretty easy, but you can't have this in PvP situations. Like you can't. The gap's too big. Like the requirement to build the team is just too big, and there's nothing that even close. So they have to do something about it. Whether there's various ways that I've heard proposed to do it, and something's got to happen straight up.
Yeah, so I mean, there's the nerf already happened to MXA1, right? Joe just brought that up. Now, how do they go about fixing this? Realistically, right? They already nerfed a legendary champion that would have been able, would have opened this up to a lot of people for clan boss. But what do you guys think? What would be a fair nerf or something that they could do to minimize this? I'll throw it to Nacho's got a lot to say, so I'm going to give him some time. Yeah. But I'm going to throw this to Gestal first.
Well, like I said, we discussed this already, so I'm not going to steal what Nacho told me. I'll let him
go ahead, because he's going to say he's got a lot. He's got a lot. You can talk about this for hours. You want.
Yeah. I think just obviously you don't want to touch the champions, right? But this is a rare champion that's doing this, and it's not even like a 6-turn cooldown A3 that's doing it. It's this freaking A1. You turn everything else off. Like that to me is just stupid. It was stupid when they were doing it on Demon Lord, and it's even dumber now. So if you were to do something, it would not hurt my feelings to nerf the freaking A1 on Cobra Cadaver. Would not hurt my feelings at all. But I don't know if they're gonna do that because a lot of people love these world records. They love the Demon Lord world records, and I think they're cool too, man. I got no problem with them. But they may not want to do that because it could affect that. So I think some of the other things that Nacho will go into will probably make more sense in the long run. So I'll just leave it at that. I wouldn't feel bad if they nerfed Corp, though. I wouldn't feel bad at all.
Okay. Nacho, go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad if they nerf Corp either, even in the Demon Lord world record sense. Like, world records are fun, and people will compete for world record even without Corpulent. You know what I mean? They'll be like, all right, new category, new time, you know what I mean? Let's go again. It's not a big deal. So I think nerfing Corpulent's fine. Like, they can do it, and the community will be fine. Like, some people will bitch because they lost their one clan boss team, but they can still one key. That's all you really need. So, but Victor Tez actually, I think, has proposed on the leaderboard Discord. He proposed one of the better ideas that I saw. Was that so? Like, to make it competitive, at least to make it like feel like you're actually versing the other clans, right? Each of your keys has a score, no matter what, because it has the multiplier, and then you get your end score, right? So you just give a point value to each of the keys that gets submitted that week, right? Whether that be 100 or 500, whatever you want to do, right? So the top guy gets this many points, second guy gets this many points for that key, or whatever. You could rank it for all 3 keys or individual keys, however, which way. And that way, your specific number that you hit wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would just be, well, you the guy that hit 8 billion got 100 points, but you hit, 350 million and you got 85. So it's not as big of a gap, and you feel like you can still be competitive as long as you make it up in the bottom, right? So I think that's probably one of the better ones that I've heard. The other one is just straight make it so you can't one-shot heads. And that would also take care of the Trunda teams. Because, I mean, you nerf Corpulent, people just put in Trunda. Like, the Trunda teams were doing 4 billion damage on hard. If you got the gear, you can do the same on Brutal and Night. So, realistically, if they're going to do anything, probably just got to nerf the mechanic itself. Like, the spawn protection, just the shields get too big. He kills them through the 90% damage reduction. It's crazy. Like, Suffering's got like 6 million HP on Nightmare, and people are one-shotting him with spawn protection. That's insane.
Wow.
Like, it's just absolutely bonkers. So yeah, between those ways is probably the way to do it. I personally am just in favor of taking out one-shots in Hydra. It nerfs the quick hard Trunda team also, but I'm fine with it. I don't think any of the champions themselves need a nerf, to be honest. The double Yumikos, they're not gonna nerf them resetting themselves, like, flat out. It's just not gonna happen. Brogni, the only thing he can do, and the only reason he's a champion is because he can grow shields. Like, it's like, sure, he does block debuffs in his shield, but like, his A2 is one of the biggest reasons that you would ever use him over just any other block debuff, right? So, and then you just have Lanicus and use any extender and Corpulent, right? And Lydia, who's a free champion. Like, they ain't nerfing Lydia. So like, the team itself, champion wise, they're not nerfing them.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, like the Gestal was saying, they could nerf Corpulent, but then Trunda just comes in, doesn't solve anything. So yeah, they gotta figure out something. And I'm glad this is the test week and this isn't the final version. I hope they do some real number crunching to make it work, because I'm excited. And I know a lot of people in my cluster that were very excited. They're like, Hydra's like, it's complex content, you know what I mean? And if you want to push it, it's like, it's fun to do, in my opinion. There's not PvE content that pushes you that hard. So a lot of people were really interested in it, and now they're not, like, even a little bit. Like, they don't even want to build a hard team anymore. They're like, I'll just get what I get.
That's it. So being useless here makes a comment saying just do what Call of Duty did, which was ban certain champions from being used in that. What do you guys think about that? I'll throw it to Nacho first.
I'm fine with that too, but I mean, in the end, you just end up having a ban list is like this. Like, people find a workaround to do that, and then. You know what I mean? Like, this is always just some other way that it goes around. So, to a certain extent, it works. Sure, like, we nerf Corpulent and trying to put it on the list. Who else do we put on there?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a harder list to make, I guess, than to just nerf the mechanic.
Okay. Gestal, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would work. I don't know if that's necessarily the best fix for it. I think I'd rather, like, the mechanic be fixed, because the list could just keep growing, as Nacho said. I think you got to fix the problem, and that's like putting a band-aid on it. I mean, I'm not, whatever. I love any and all ideas. Let's bring them on. Let's find the best one. I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but I think not touching the champions is probably the right way, and doing something with the boss, whether it is preventing one-shots, that seems to be the one that makes the most sense, and probably the easiest one from a coding standpoint. Like, throws up an unkillable or something on them. If they're about to get one shot, but I don't know, whatever it is, I think I don't think I'd want that. Maybe you just can't one shot. But so I don't know, whatever it is, I think they gotta fix I think they got to fix it on the boss end. I don't think we need to touch the champions. I think that's the best route.
So I kind of have a double take on this. Now I know I made a comment while we were off stream talking about everything. You know, basically at this point, who would you rather have for Hydra at this setup? Would you rather have a Crizia or would you rather have a Corpulent Cadaver? Right? That's a legendary Void champion is being out damaged right now by an epic, something that I can get out of a misery shard.
I mean, it's not entirely true. It's the only reason he's working is because you have double Yumiko in the team. Like,
And if it wasn't double Yumiko, you'd get something else. You'd get like an
No,
extra
you
Manicus
can't-
or something,
no,
or another ally attack.
I mean, like, Kenpachi did the Corpulent team with no reset whatsoever. He did it on hard. He did 800 million.
So
It's not anywhere near the same. Like, you can compete with 800 million with a normal team without a Crizia.
yeah, but I mean, it's just. At
And he
this
couldn't
point
do it
right
on
now-
Brutal. He literally couldn't run it on Brutal. They just one-shot the shield at the start.
I mean, it's insane the amount of damage that he can do. Welcome to the stream, Mr. Mo. Thank you for joining us. You know, so my thoughts. Let's talk about the kit, right? Obviously you're turning off everything else. Why not put a cooldown on this and make it so that you know the A3 does the shield damage or the A2 does the shield damage? I think something like that might be a little bit better. Or you can do what they did with what was it, the Shadow King guy that does the extra damage every time he gets like 5 hits. Who am I thinking? Jintoro, exactly. Jintoro is great for clan boss, you know, enables you to do a 1-key, and he can just basically do 1,000,000 damage on every 5th turn, which is pretty cool. So why not just do it something like that, right? And then again, you know, on the boss wise, it's going to be very hard because I think,
15th.
huh?
Every 15th turn.
5th turn.
15th. He has to use the ability 3 or 5 times or something like that.
5 times. On the 5th
5
time.
times. Yeah, so he has a 3-turn rotation. That's a 15-turn rotation to do that flurry.
If you have him in reflex, if you have him in relentless, refresh, there's a
matter.
lot of RNG.
So if this is not a 5-turn rotation.
But yeah, it's, you know, actually Joe says a great point is cap the amount of damage you can do per head per hit, right? We have it basically in any other dungeon and in Hydra where, you know, enemy max HP can only be 10%. Well, why not increase that to nothing more than 15% for any sort of damage? But because nerfing the champion itself, I don't think is going to be a viable strategy, especially because you'll have a lot of people pissed off. So, I don't know. What do you guys? Go ahead, Nacho.
Oh, I was just, yeah. I mean, they're not going to be able to just nerf the. Like I was saying, you pull out Trunda and Corpulent. Guess who comes in? Taurus.
Yep.
Guess who comes in after him? Frezia. And even then, you're hitting 2 mil every single.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could see it's kind of a crazy comp to have, and it just, again, it made me. I have that whole setup on one of my accounts. I have the double Yumikos. I have the Brogni. I have the Lanicus. I have the Lydia. Guess what? I don't have is a Corpulent Cadaver. I almost opened up 10,000 mystery shards to say I want this guy, and I'm just like, no, forget this. That's too much work to try to get it done, you know. Mr. Mo says, I like the suggestion Victor Tez had where you get point damage threshold for capped numbers. That way cadaver teams don't get used. Or don't become the meta. So, I mean, I think a great thing for that's going to be is if they did a point bracket, right? Where if each one of your keys did a certain amount of damage, you'd get that many points. And then cap the damage at like 1 billion or 500 million, like just cap it at so it doesn't get too excessive. What do you guys think? I'll throw this to Gestal first.
Yeah, I think that in theory would work. It does seem to somewhat de-incentivize you to really try to max out all your potential on teams, because you'd be like, oh, my man just got 300 mil, like there's no way I'm gonna get that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it doesn't de-incentivize you, but I just feel like they've built the whole system off of points. Like they're really changing everything then if they go to that. There might be similar ways you can do that where it's still points, but nothing's really coming to my mind right now. It's like a way I could recommend it, but I mean I could see that working, but I don't know. I kind of like to see the points. To me the whole multiplier thing doesn't seem to make sense. Like I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know if this is I don't feel like it was the best way they could handle it, honestly, from the start. But it's all I don't know. It's all like the whole Clash thing is a little weird to me. Just from the way that they explain it. I obviously love the concept. I love the PvP side to it, but the scoring system has always been a little wonky to me, like from the beginning. So I guess if there is something they could adjust, that's certainly one thing. I wouldn't be mad about it, but I think in the same vein as in Demon Lord, having those world records or putting up the most points in your clan, it's always just been like a like a flex. It really doesn't do anything, and then like here it actually does do something. So I think it'd be I don't know. I would love to see the team, like if what people could do if they weren't like the two broken champions. Like, you were saying, yeah, they just go to Taurus or Crizia, but I think it does, it's still like there's people who don't have that and start developing other teams. So, I don't know, if you're removing that goal of like just trying to get tons of points, and settling, for coming in sixth place on your account to just get 50 points or over to that number, arbitrary number would be, maybe it de-incentivizes you a little bit, but I don't know. You gotta play the way the game is, and whatever they end up doing, I'm fine with it. I really love the concept. I love Hydra Clash. I think, once it actually launches, or maybe in 2 or 3 weeks after they've tweaked it a little bit, I think it's really gonna be an awesome part of the game.
Nacho, what are your thoughts?
So the only problem with capping damage is you incentivize people to stop. So it's Victor Tez's suggestion is also, just to clarify, highest damage key, no matter what that damage is, gets 100 points.
Yeah.
Second place gets 99. Third place gets 97, or whatever a fair balance is. You get the point. It's not my job. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
your highest damage key would still be a corpulent key. He just wouldn't get rewarded as much for doing that much damage, because there are certain brackets that nobody's gonna have a corpulent. Right. And now you are automatically more competitive for that first spot. Okay. Now, that works when you can be more competitive in your lower brackets. Okay. So if you take the top 5, but I take the next 20, like, we win. So, you know what I'm saying? You can take the top 5 if you don't have the middle part, and you know what I mean, through the bottom. So that's where that balances out, where the big guys they just don't get as much for it. Okay, so you'd still have the team, it would still reward people that do have that, but it would also reward the smaller guys a lot more balancedly. So just to clarify, that's what his suggestion is. It would not cap damage at 1. Okay, because what that does is you make normal clan boss into Hydra. Okay, where people are like, okay, I hit my 500 million this week, walk out. That's it.
So So
There's
I guess
no more team building. It's like, oh, I can hit this threshold, and that threshold. Well, there's no reason to do anything.
okay. So I guess the best way to explain it is, there's 5 clans that are competing. Each clan's got 150 people. The point bracket goes from 1 to 150. The person that gets the top points, 150. Then, the next one, might be from, let's say the first one's from IPR. He gets 150 seconds from us, Sacred Pandas. We get 149, all the way down to 1. So everybody's points matter. Yeah, I actually really like that idea. I really do. And Plarium, if you're watching, I think that's definitely how you should implement it.
And it would probably be like something like 800 through 300 or like something like that. You know what I mean? The point spread could work a lot better than like 150 through 1, because then like your bottom guy's literally doing 1/50th of the top guy, right?
Well, I
As
mean,
opposed to
you're
like
still
800 to 300. But yeah, like the point still stands. Like you can get the balance much better in that way. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the best ways that I've seen it done, because then people still get to have fun with it, right? Like the game's about having fun. People have a lot of fun with this team for once in Hydra. Like I've seen a lot of excitement in the people that are running the team. You know what I mean? I just see negative towards Hydra Clash.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's great to do it with Hydra, just for the competitive aspect, though. It's not really. Now, I did want to ask you, because I'm not too sure. Nacho, have you done your keys so far?
This week? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now let me ask you, if I refresh this, right, go for a free refresh, do I lose the points, the 4x that I can get?
No.
No?
It's
Okay. So it's
It's your first key that you submit.
Well, I did one on somebody else's account, and it didn't give me the 4x multiplier, which was kind of surprising. I don't know, maybe if it was just a glitch or not, but I did feed it back to Plarium. But okay, so we're not going to do this one because I know this team can do a lot more. But let's actually talk about the rewards for this. Now, it's been data mined, and man, if you win, right? If you get the rewards, you get 1 piece of gear, you get 1 accessory, 1 ring, 1 whatever it is, and then you're getting some clan gold along with clan XP. All of this, I mean, I guess for the first week it's fine, right? Because they're testing, they're trying to figure out what people are going to come up with. But
that's the thing.
It's the rewards are absolute garbage, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it to Nacho first.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is I don't know if they know an exact release date. So if you give all the people that participate in this significant amount of accessories, and then they don't release, well, they've got advantage for 2 months.
Yeah, that's true.
So this week we might only see 1. In the test phase, we might only see 1. I think that's fine. The chances of people really abusing that really heavily is super slim. They could absolutely just give us more. So we could see all kinds of changes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the buffs, they need to be increased, the drop rates. I don't. What do you think, Gestal?
Yeah, one barely feels worth it, right? Like, I mean, I guess you could potentially get lucky and get a 3-piece on the same faction that are all fairly good, and then be able to start building after 1 week. It would take forever.
No.
Really, to
Each
get a
chest,
decent.
you only get 1 chest, and each chest will only give you
Yeah,
1 piece.
But if you get
in-
3 chests, let's say you get 3 chests.
You can only
No,
get 1.
you get 1.
One chest.
1.
That's it.
You get 1
One
for what
chest.
place you turn in. It doesn't give you it per difficulties. This is a whole all the difficulties are included in Hydra.
I didn't understand it that. So you get 1 chest?
One chest with 1 ring or banner or amulet.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're only getting 1 a week, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's gonna take you an eternity to even get a set. That could take you all year to get a 3-piece for undead on your Siffy or something. That's ridiculous.
Let's
Yeah,
first
they
of all,
gotta
let's
up
talk about
that.
the
I mean,
drop
you
rate.
get so much out of Nightmare on the Stoneskin side. I mean, you get how many pieces? You get like on Nightmare, it seems like you get 7 or 8 pieces sometimes. I don't know what it is, but
You get 11. You get
oh
11. You
yeah,
get 9 times 2. So you
yeah,
actually
9
get
times. There you go.
18. You're actually
Yeah,
getting 18.
it's got to be somewhat comparable to that, I would imagine. I mean, that's the only way you're really going to build them up because half the pieces are going to be garbage, half the pieces, and then you're spreading them across all these different factions. Like it's going to take forever to get
Yeah,
to get
unlike
sets built
Stoneskin, you
out.
got 15 freaking factions or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's they got to bump it up. I don't know if they're going to go to 9 on it, but God, it's got to be 5 or 6 a week at least. Got to be.
At minimum, gotta give us 4. So the one thing is that even if your clan's only hitting the same rewards that somebody is hitting Nightmare, the clans that are hitting Nightmare Hydra, right? So there's gonna be a little bit of a balance in that way, but they gotta get one's not enough. It's a joke, straight joke. Nobody's even gonna do the content. Why?
Yeah, no one would even care if it's 1 a week.
It's like the chances you ever even getting 2 to 3 pieces to put on one champion are just so small. Nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually had a clan discussion on this, and we were like, do we even want to go for it? Do we want to see, like, we are purposely forfeiting this because it's just not worth it, not for the one piece. Like if it was like 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces, maybe maybe we'd all go out and build those infinity comp teams and go for it, but it's just the one piece is just stupid. But I do want to put it to you guys and find out, what do you think is, let's be realistic here. um what do we think would be a good amount for them to give us? And I'll throw this to Gestal first.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about it. I think first place getting a minimum of 6 or 7 is probably good, and like third place getting like a minimum of 3. I think that'd be
Okay.
fairly fair.
So, so 5 for first place, 4 for second place, 3 for third place.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you could go as high. I mean, I think you could go as high as like 9. Honestly, go with what it is on like Ultra Nightmare. Uh, and maybe it scales based on what you hit too. Like, say, your clan's only hitting normal, and you hit and you got first place. You probably shouldn't be getting the same rewards. But I guess that's maybe how it's gonna play out. I don't know. But
Yeah.
should you get the same rewards that the people, who are, had to hit Nightmare brutal and hard to get that first place chest? Like, uh, yeah, I
So
guess that's why it's gonna happen, but it doesn't seem, I guess, ultimately fair. That's why I guess I thought there was gonna be one for each level
yeah.
of the Nightmare or the Hydra heads, like each level of it.
Right, because then it would just self-balance. If it's like, okay, well, we got first chest this week, now we can meet, the chest requirements plus the difficulty requirements, and then give you the proper piece of gear.
Yeah.
And it would just self-balance at that point.
Maybe they got to rethink the way to distribute
So
the
Nacho,
rewards.
what do you think is a decent amount?
So this is specialty accessories. I think the only comparable resource we have in the game would so if your clan wins, you're looking at, I mean, realistically, you get 2 every. So you're getting 4 a month minimum, and 8 if you win, and you're not really 3-0ing. To be honest, like most clans are not 3-0ing. Like even on the average whatsoever, you'll get the 1 off or 2 off or whatever. But even the big clans, they're barely 3-0ing at this point anymore. Unless they just like get a complete shrub matchup, where they like found somebody, you know what I'm saying? But this is not. You're getting CVC rings every month. So I mean that's where they're getting the 1 from. In their eyes, if they give us 2, that's more than CVC.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel it
That's
should
not what I
be.
want. Just to
Well,
clarify,
yeah, okay. So what do you want is the question.
I'm just putting like a baseline out there for something that we already have that people accept. You know what I mean? Like this is a fact of the game. This is how much you can get, and this is something that's comparable, right? So I don't think that's enough. I think we need at least double that. Um, reactions a little. I don't know. Maybe Stone's getting stronger, and so people are gonna hate him more because you can turn on two turn Stone Skin, but I don't know. Stone Skin can be interacted different ways than reaction can. Like reaction's just there. You can't do anything about it, even if you strip everything, even if you do anything about it, like it's just there, right? So yeah, I'd like to see at least 4 a week, like minimum, to be honest. But I think pushing more than 6 is going to be unrealistic.
So actually, I think, and the way I'm viewing it is, treat if you're going to take one of the worst content in the game, which is 3v3 arena, and you're gonna give us 7 chances a week at getting an accessory out of there, I think they should do the same thing with this. For the amount of effort and work that needs to be put into this, I think they need to do the same thing. I think each chest should have 7 pieces minimum. Um, but this brings me into the next subject that I want to talk about this, because could this system be manipulated the same way that CBC is? Because how so?
No. Okay, so everything that you do makes you ineligible. If you leave your clan if you join a clan after Hydra Clash starts, can't do it. If you join a clan within 6 hours of when Hydra Clash, like the first 6 hours after Hydra Clash happens, do it. If you leave your clan before Hydra Clash ends, don't get your rewards.
Well, Hydro Clash is a whole week, almost.
I
No.
understand. Okay, but like reset, it's the same time though. The end and start are the same time. They're not separate times. If there was a gap in the middle, you could jump the gap and go wherever you wanted to go. But because they're on the same time, any time that you want to leave the clan, you have to miss that point. Anything that you do makes you ineligible. Okay, if you join late, you're ineligible for that week. Early, you don't get your rewards. Okay, so it absolutely cannot be abused. Like you're not going to know who you're versing next week if you weren't in the clan, and you can't move after the week started to go help a different clan.
So let me
So
put it to you in this way. This week I don't feel like competing. I don't want to put up 13 billion points. We put up, I don't know, 500 million. The clan that's at I don't know, 3,000 gets matched up with us. We smash them. We win. No problems. We don't even have to put our best teams in.
you're assuming that that's going to work the same way CVC ranking do.
They said that it's going to be your last 4 battles average.
Yeah, your last 4 average. So if you want to tank every fucking week, you're going to spike 1 week to win, and your average is going to go up, and you're going to put into a better group. Is what I'm saying. Like this works much better than CVC because CVC is a 1 week average. Whatever you did last week, that's what you get. That's what you get matched up. 4 week average means you have to maintain a low score if you want to be competitive. Sure, you could just like teeter totter and not put up too many points, but you're gonna have to wait until the very last day and be very precise with how many points you put up and put up just enough, and then hope somebody else doesn't put too many up, right? So it's like a lot more work to stay at that lower bracket to do all of that.
Fair enough. Let me propose it to you this way then. We all know that we have multiple clans clusters, right? What's stopping you from jumping clan to clan literally just as reset happens?
You can't. There's not a time. It's the exact same minute. Like the exact same second that it ends, it starts.
Okay,
Like,
so I sacrificed this week doing this, knowing that next week I'll get in and I'll have a guaranteed win.
Okay, and when you want to come back again, you lose another week.
That's fine. I keep one losing. I keep
no,
one
no,
losing
no,
clan.
you lose. No, you like this is the point. Like you're halving your rewards to hop clans. That's the whole point of this. Like,
But
it's
you're
not
getting
abusable. Like really at all. You're better to just stay in one clan and perform better. Like hopping from what you don't know who your matchup's gonna be. Like they could just make you ineligible. We don't know what the eligibility. Like CVC has a requirement to actually participate in CVC.
yeah, it's like
people
40
there aren't
points.
if
40 stars.
people aren't in the clan, it won't register you for CVC. Okay, so if you have a clan that's empty, tanking, unless you literally have 30 alts in that clan, like that you want to move out and then move 30 guys into that clan, like this is just such a corner case. Like, one clan might end up doing this, and they're gonna cost themselves rewards every other week. Like, and that's not gonna average out to be better. You're better off just taking third place every week.
Not at one reward. That's going to be.
Yes, at one reward, it's better to take third place every single week.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. What do you think, Gestal?
Yeah, I've never gotten I've been in the same clan since I started the game, so I've never gotten into like sort of clan swapping or min-maxing to, points to try and get better matchups and stuff. So I guess I'm not super fluent. I didn't know some of these things that you guys are just talking about people were doing. But it seems to make sense that if it's starting at the same time and you would lose a week, I think that would stop people from doing it pretty much. I mean, for me, if I'm like, you're gonna change clans, but you're gonna lose this week's class, I'd be like, man, I don't think I want to do that. Like, I've hopped over to friends' accounts to help them unlock, or friends' clans to help them unlock, like Brutal or Nightmare, like just put up a big score for them for a week. Like, I would never do that now if I'm gonna miss a Hydra Clash. So, yeah, I think if it is when it starts, the new one, or when it ends, the next one starts, I think that's gonna prevent a lot of people from trying to scoop swapping around these different clans to try and get more out of it, scam the system, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that would right there. I mean, that would prevent it for CVC. If CVC was once a week and lasted a week and ended, as soon as it ended, the next one started, like, you wouldn't be able to kind of game the system like that either. So I think it should be fine. I don't think that should really be an issue.
Okay. So let's talk about this this clan boss feature we have, the quick battle, right? Now, at least for myself, what I understood it to be is that the team consistently had to one key. And I caught onto it last week when I did it on stream. Didn't want to really say anything because I wasn't too aware of what's going to happen. But now you can go in, you just need to get the one key one time to unlock the feature, and then you automatically get the clan boss team, right? Do you guys think that players should incentivize now getting the one clan boss key team done and then going back to a two key? Is it worth it that way, or what are your thoughts on it? What do you think people should be doing right now? Nacho.
Basically, if you can get a one key, you're gonna push for it at this point. There's no two ways about it, and there's not really a lot of people in the middle ground. Like, if you're doing 60 million, you're gonna push for a one key kind of thing, or you're waiting for a new team. Teams very rarely just go from doing 40 million to 70 million. It's very difficult to make a slot doubling its damage. It's not usually how that goes, especially since you're relying on debuffs most of the time. We talk about poisons doing 800 or 400k a turn, 350k a turn, or doubling that damage on top of the damage you were already doing. Tough. So your gap's pretty big. People that are gonna push for one keys, sure, go. You're gonna do it anyways. To be honest, at this point. And when they made the announcement, like, they were pretty crystal clear. You didn't have to potentially one key on that key. It simulates your team from the start to the end. And to unlock that feature, you had to have one keyed the clan boss. That's what the feature is. It's not a you have to potentially one key. That was never in the design description or anything. So
True, it wasn't in the design description, but I mean, it gave us a lot of the way it was worded, the way it was
no, it was
insinuated
crystal
with
clear.
us.
Go ahead, read it. Go read it right now out loud, and you cannot tell me that it says that you needed to one key every single day potentially.
It says teams that have one key, your team
That
must be
have
able to
one
one key.
key.
Your team must
That
be able
have
to
one
one
key.
key.
Yes, that have one
So,
keyed.
yes, and that was the thing, is they didn't say that afterwards. Is it, do you need to do that? But yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this feature is good for endgame players where they don't want to set this up and walk away, come back 15 minutes later, set it up to on Nightmare, walk away and come back another 15 minutes later, and then start doing what you would do. Just get you kind of right through it. It's not that important. But like kind of what I said last week with my free to play account, like I'm still 3-4 keying Ultra Nightmare, kind of pretty much 3 keying unless it's green. And I have to pay attention to it. So I don't like you have the progression in the game, right? You're always working to that one key Ultra Nightmare no matter what, regardless. You like if you pulled the Mytha and you got Seeker and you got a team you can put together, that's going to be your priority if you don't have a 2 or 1 key Ultra Nightmare. No matter where you're at in the game, whether you've finished Faction Wars and you've moved on to a lot of the other later game content, that's still going to be something you would prioritize. So I don't really feel like it changes anything. Your goal is always to have a 1 key for ult. You want to be able to 1 key Ultra Nightmare, 1 key Nightmare, 1 key Brutal every day, maximize your chances of getting rewards. I don't feel like that changes because they're giving us this, the quick battle. But it certainly does now incentivize people to look for that 1 key so it can speed things up.
I think the other biggest thing was just that you don't last 50 turns on your free to play either.
Yeah, I don't.
So like your run's not that long.
Yeah, no, they're about 12 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes. Yeah.
Compared like my buddy Cameron was running his myth there, and it took him 29 minutes to run 1 key.
Yeah. Well, that's a big difference.
That's a big difference. That is true. One of my accounts, I run the Mythier team with Cardiel, and it is a 27-minute run because of all the ally attacks, everything else. So, yes, the lower tier player is going to do a 2 key team. Much quicker, much easier, much faster, than trying to get the 1 key team. But Mr. Mo brings up
swapping. Yeah, I was gonna say swapping the gear. Like, sure, you unlock it. Sure, get it. Like, is it worth 10 mil to unlock the feature? Yeah. Like it's not really a question.
Well, actually, I think that's a pretty solid question. Is it really worth it?
Is it worth 10 mil silver to swap gear and get a 1 key? Yeah.
It might be a little more. Might be a little more. That's
not really, because once the gear's off, the gear on the champion doesn't cost. No, the gear that you take off doesn't cost anything to put back on. That's the thing.
But you got to retake the gear back off the current champions that you built and put it back.
It takes 1 mil per champ if you swap everything, basically. Like the amount of champs I swap for 500 or 700k is a ton.
But
like,
yes,
this is my point. So is it worth 10 mil to unlock auto clan boss if you could? Yes. Even if it was 15 mil or 20 mil, 40 mil. Like, yes, it is. This is not that hard of a question.
I think the bigger thing is, it kind of makes it so now you don't really need to have an unkillable team. Well, I mean, unkillable team helps, but you don't need to have your best gear on your clan boss team anymore to try to make sure that you're getting that 1 key or getting that consistent damage, right? As long as it does about 40 million damage, 35 million damage, roughly around there, you're pretty good, right? Anyone disagree?
Pretty much. Like anything over 40 is a waste unless you're one game.
So, okay. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I think that feature's great. I mean, I did it for Steven's account because we kept two keying with rosin, and I was like, this is gonna be a pain. So we built actually Newt, who just the A2 man did 25 million damage over 50 turns on the clan boss. That was insane. um, and I would really love to see what he could do in like a much better build than what I currently had him in. But yeah, so we are getting to that time. Let me see. I don't think I forgot anything else to discuss. I think we kind of covered everything. We're actually, quick thing. Weren't we supposed to get the new champion this week? The Monkey King?
Said
Well,
who?
the timer ran out on the mail that was sent in the storage, but I don't. I think they said it was going to get released on the 18th.
Okay.
So I think that we should. I would imagine we're going to hear more about it this week, leading up to
Okay.
that.
Yeah, because like I was looking at it and I was like, oh, cool, 2 more days, and maybe I just misunderstood. I thought it was uh down the line, but who knows? All
I
right,
thought they
so
would at the end of that timer. I thought they would like release the details, like give us his kit or background to whatever something. But yeah, obviously they haven't done that yet.
for somebody they're hyping up this much and giving us notice that we're getting, he better have a damn good ass kit. I'm just saying that he better be able to break every one of my teams, you know. But anyways, so we have been spending this wonderful quality time together. But before I let you guys go, where can everybody come and find you? Gestal.
Stream twitch.tv/Gestal Gaming. I stream every Sunday through Friday, 2 to 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Love to see you come by there, say what's up. Also on the YouTubes, Gestal Gaming put out a daily show, just kind of talking about what's going on in Raid every day. It's like a news 10-minute news show, and the website www.gestal.gg.
Yeah, big things coming onto the website too, from what we talked about. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
excited
man.
about that. And then
Nacho
Nacho.
knows.
Yeah, I'm NachoPlays 50 on YouTube and Twitch. So
Any particular times you stream, or you just, hey, I'm bored now, I'm gonna stream?
mostly mornings, but just trying to find a new job soon, so could change.
Okay. And then again, you can find them all here every Sunday at 3 to 5 p.m. EST, where we will have some wonderful discussions. But shout outs. Nacho looks like he's got a nice little smile on his face, so we're gonna go with him first.
I'm gonna shout out MXPJE this week. He's always a great guy in the community. He's helping people out. Um, yeah, go check him out.
Okay. All right. And Gestal?
Yeah, I agree. I love PJ. Definitely go check him out. I'm gonna shout out my man Zero Brew, awesome dude, big personality. He streams fairly regularly, 3-4 nights a week. I always get him on Friday nights, man. He's got an adult beverage in hand, and he's super fun to hang out with. So go check him out, Zero Brew.
Yeah, I've actually watched both of those creators, subscribe to both of their channels. Zero Brew is actually quite fun to hang out with. Last time I was on there, we had a couple of different chats. But so my shout out's actually going to be to a content creator that I stumbled upon because of one of my viewers, Nick. He linked me one of his videos about a mobile player doing what is it called, the when keylogger thing for his phone. Uh, and it's going to be the real deal. He actually put out a video on Friday, and he actually just linked me another one right before the stream started. He's like, "This one's for you," and I reached out to him. I'm soon to have him on the channel. Hopefully, have him on a Sunday podcast with us. But I really enjoyed the stuff. He reminded me a lot of Jay Giggs, and it was really really funny. So if you guys have the chance, go subscribe to him. Go subscribe to Nacho. Go subscribe to Gestal. And yeah, as always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.